Back in November of 2020, I shared with you all of the goals that I was going to have for 2021. And I made a promise to you that I would come back at the end of each quarter and let you know what's been going on in regards to my goals. I'm not gonna lie, truthfully, I did this as an accountability step to put my goals out there publicly and to invite you to follow along with me. I came back at the end of Q1 with the first of these check-ins. I'll pop the link up top and in the description down below if you want to go ahead and check that out. But to summarize it super quick, at the end of Q1, I realized that I had bitten off way more than I could chew in regards to my goals. I set the bar so high for myself initially back when I set goals in 2020 that I kind of set myself up for failure. So I pared everything down and I created 3 realistic goals instead of the original 8, or quite frankly, there was like so many mini goals in there that it was like 20 idealistic goals. So in today's video, you might have guessed it, I'm here with you to share my progress so far as we are at the end of Q2. So I'm going to talk about where I have been in regards to the past quarter, in regards to my goals. And I'm not going to lie, I'm really surprised and kind of shocked at where I am right now. And I'm going to, at the end of this video, really share with you the one thing that I started doing in this quarter that I think accounts for a lot of the success that I'm currently seeing. So if you are struggling on working towards your goals or struggling towards setting that goal, this potentially could be something that could change the game for you. Hey y'all, it is me, Lauren, here with Plan with Laur. I am your go-to gal and your best friend when it comes to all things planning, productivity, and how to use the resources that you have to plan today for a better tomorrow. Before we dive in today's video, let me know, how is your progress going with your 2021 goals? Before we jump into today's video, let me know in the comments down below, how is your progress currently going with your 2021 goals? It's funny, as I always sit here and prepare for these types of videos, I go back and I look at the previous video. So I rewatched the video back from when I originally set goals in November, and I laugh a lot because I set these 8 really big goals and kind of these like sub goals underneath it. And at the end of it, I think I counted at about 15 annual goals that I had for the year. And this plays into a larger trend for me because I am a recovering overachiever. And I say that because I know what I'm good at and I tend to gravitate towards that. And in that same vein, I know what I'm bad at and I tend to avoid that. And I've always been a project person. I love a project. I love starting a project, figuring out, how to make the project go and finishing a project. So I thought, what the heck? Goal setting is going to be easy. It's like all these little projects I get to do throughout the year. But I didn't have a plan or a strategy to achieve them, let alone in a world which was actively reopening and changing in front of our eyes. Listen, any goal setting person, organization, company is gonna have some type of methodology or a system that they preach. And it's all about taking the things that resonate with you from these individuals and making them your own. Sticking with what works and ditching what doesn't. So like I said, in my last video, I cut down my big 8 to 15 goals down into 3. So let's talk about them. I think it's important to say here that with the goals that I've set, I've chosen to kind of have a mantra or like an overarching theme, which makes it that I'm working towards. Yes, I still have a dedicated goal, but this kind of overarching theme really is something that helps me, and it's something that I can refer back to as I'm figuring out what is my action plan going to be as I'm actually achieving these goals. So my first goal that I had was a health and wellness goal. My theme for the year is strong body and strong mind, with my overall goal being to train for a 2022 marathon. So the last race that I actually ran was back in January of 2020. It was a marathon and I felt the best that I ever felt, not just physically, but also mentally. And it was something that I loved doing. I love race culture. And so for me, the experience was way less about the race itself, which, listen, it's at Disney World. It's literally 26.2 miles of magic. So for me, couldn't really beat that, but really the training process is what I love the most. So I wanted to recreate that process by signing up for a marathon. So my goal for this quarter was to pick the marathon that I wanted to run and do it. Did I do that? No. But my hands are a little tied everywhere. I want to run another Disney marathon. Information regarding the Disney marathons have not been put out into the world, even though our world is slowly starting to reopen up. Still, big events like that, big race organizations haven't really made anything public about what they plan on doing or what those next steps are going to be. I know this is literally basic goal setting 101, is to set goals that you are in charge of and to set goals that are achievable. That was probably a little bit of a stretch here for this quarter. That being said, I did go ahead and pivot since I couldn't sign up and officially start training for a marathon. I did start to get more into a workout routine, which is something that I really wanted to work on. So I can say for the first time in 15 months, I am finally on a consistent workout routine. And I haven't really shared this publicly, let alone online, with everyone. But during the pandemic, I gained 35 pounds. I know I'm not alone in this. The pandemic wreaked havoc on my routines, my motivation. And this quarter, after being able to get vaccinated and start to go to workout classes, has been super transformative. I was able to lose some weight pretty quickly and some weight not as quickly. And I'm currently in the part where those last couple of pounds are pretty stubborn and hard to shake. But my mentality is a lot less about a number on a scale and getting back into a place in which I feel strong and confident. And these workout classes are helping me get there. With that being said, I still did want to sign up for a race in this quarter since that was my original goal. And our whole family, even our little puppy Minnie, did sign up for our first race in so long. And we're doing a 4th of July 5K down at the beach. I think it will be a great way to go ahead and start Q3. So my goal for Q3, since the marathon was a little ambitious, is to go ahead and sign up for a 10K, whether that is in person or virtual, and to do a lot more structured running outside. Things I'm going to do to help support that is I'm going to go ahead and revisit my running playlist, shuffle things around, make sure it's still fun, and also go ahead and use the Peloton app to use their outdoor running series to help with that. Another app that I am not currently using, but I have used in the past that I do recommend is the Couch to 5K app for anyone who is interested. So my number 2 goal is to work on Plan with Laur. My overall theme is to make Plan with Laur a sustainable business. And honestly, Q2 this year has been the best quarter ever since I started Plan with Laur and the business side of things a little bit over a year ago. About a month ago, at the beginning of June, I had 1 week, which coincidentally was also my birthday week, in which I became the major professor for Wild University. I launched the Plan with Laur planning pad, and I was a guest host on QVC for Erin Condren. Let me just tell you, this 1 week, probably the most insane week of my life. And I share this with you because while I am so immensely proud of myself and also just so thankful and humbled to be supported by so many here, a part of my community, it also taught me a lot. One of those things alone would have been enough to fill my schedule for a month, let alone 3 of them, which all happened within a 5-day period. What I really learned, and the thing that I take away from this, is if I have a major month-defining announcement, to give it the space that it deserves. By packing 3 launches into 1 week, I kind of got in my own way. Couldn't really promote what was going on, market it in the way that I wanted to, and be ready for the next launch. And honestly, I got really burned out for it. I actually ended up taking a 2-week content break. I did not create anything at all for 2 weeks, which is the longest time that I've taken off since I really started Plan with Laur. The point that I'm getting at is that while Q2 has been amazing in regards to Plan with Laur, it has been a quarter of fast acceleration and growth. It's also really forced me to reevaluate the systems that I have in place to support Plan with Laur. As you may know, I have a small but mighty team that helps me make sure that everything runs. And I'm asking myself now, what processes can I automate and where can I use more help? I want to keep this momentum going and to make it sustainable. That's my theme of the whole entire month. So my goal for the next quarter is to find and implement systems that run and allow me to focus on my favorite thing. Creating content without pressure and being able to connect with my community. So things I'm gonna do, spend some time really focusing on what I like to do versus what I don't like to do. I get that in everything you do, there's gonna be things that you don't like to do, but seeing how I can maximize the things that I like to do and the things that I don't. Another thing that I did read is I did read Profit 1st this month. It is a book that I recommend to any aspiring entrepreneur, anyone who runs their own background. Honestly, it's a great book. So that was one book that I read in this quarter that was really great. So my third and my final goal that I've been working on is really to foster creativity. My overarching theme is I wanted something that I had that was a hobby that was just for me, not something that I shared about, something I could really pour my creativity into. And so I have been doing two things pretty consistently. The first one is I've been doing Allie Edwards' One Little Word project. I love it. I'm having so much fun with it. It is a great scrapbooking memory keeping for me. I actually did add on her story kit class, which essentially is they send you every single month. And so I've added that on, which has been really great. And then I've also implemented a daily journaling routine. It is something small. It takes me about 5 minutes right before I go to bed. I've actually been so consistent with both of those that it has changed my planner lineup. So I will link you to that video so you can see exactly what my new and improved planner lineup is that helps complement this part of my goal. Moving forward, my goals are the same. This is one of those goals that I want to keep it where it is. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling that I'm able to create and foster my creativity in that way. I don't have kind of like a next step that I want to move forward with it. I just want to remain where I am, keep that equilibrium, and just continue to pour into the goal in the way that I currently have. All right, so as I sit here and I talk about my goals, I talk about the progress that I've made and the things that I want to move forward. It also just sounds like a whole bunch of accomplishments. And don't get me wrong, I'm super proud of myself for everything that I've done in this month, and I can't wait to see what the next quarter brings. When I was preparing for this video and I was thinking about this video, it wasn't until I listed everything out that I really saw how much I had accomplished, because on my day-to-day, I don't really feel like I'm accomplishing much. In looking back though, I think I've made a lot of progress because I started implementing something that I call goal adjacent activities. Now, I go way more into this concept and into this idea in my Wild University class. While my major, by the time that this video comes out, is going to be ending, you can still join Wild University in July. It's only $22. You will be able to see all the replay from my class, plus unlock a whole bunch of other classes, as well as the new majors for this month, which are awesome. But in this course, we talk about how to identify goal adjacent activities and implement them into your routines, which makes goal setting a way more gratifying process. To summarize, goal adjacent activities are things that contribute indirectly towards your goal. I think that there's this idea out there that the only way to work on your goal is to physically and actively work on your goal. But y'all, any work that's working on your goal is goal work. Take my marathon, for example. Most people think in training for a marathon in terms of going for a run. And I get it. You have to run the miles to complete the marathon. It makes sense. And that's a direct goal activity. But hey, I can't run every single day. There are gonna be days when it rains outside. There are gonna be days when my body does not wanna do it. And there's just gonna be days that I just don't feel like it. So what do you do on those days? How can you still work on your goal? On the days that you can't directly work on your goal, you have to find something indirect to keep you moving in the right direction. Maybe it's reading a book about running, or listening to a podcast, or maybe it's finding someone on YouTube, in my case, who talks about marathon training tips and tricks, or someone who you might consider like a thought leader in your goal space who can give you advice on how to achieve it. It's working on your goals without working on your goals. And so that's what I've been doing this month. I've been doing a whole bunch of goal adjacent activities, and little by little, y'all, those add up. So what I want you to be able to do is brainstorm some of those goal adjacent activities that you can do in regards to your goals, and also just take stock for a second about where you are, and maybe it's creating a list of everything you've done from January into now. Y'all, I still cannot believe it. We're halfway through the year here. Just take a second, give yourself a pat on the back, and celebrate how far you've come this year. And so y'all, that is all that I have for you today. I hope that my journey with goal setting can help show you that it's not perfect. And it's certainly not always pretty, but it's a process that I own, and it's a process that I love sharing with you. If you're following along, let me know, what are you gonna be going ahead and working on in this upcoming quarter? I'm so excited to read them and to cheer you on from the sidelines. All right, y'all, that is all that I have for you guys today. If you are new here, I hope that you decide to stick around by hitting that red subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday and Thursday. Make sure to check out the link in the description down below for anything that I mentioned or that we chatted about here in this video. As always, y'all, my name is Lauren here with Plan with Laur, and I'll see y'all next time.